Hey there, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness Channel with Waihiga. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I want to talk about staying sober in December. How do we stay sober in December? This is a video for anyone who's in early recovery. If you've made the decision to get sober in December, if you have long-term sobriety. I got sober in July of 2017. That is all by the grace of God. I'm really happy to be sober for the past 5 years and 5 months. Seriously, that is all by the grace of God. One thing I can tell you though is that as we get to the holidays, being an alcoholic, it is not easy going through the holidays sober at all. The holidays is a time for family. It's a time for gatherings. It's a time for celebration. It's a time for reflection. It's a time for, reviewing the year. It's a time for booze, unfortunately. And so as an alcoholic, as an addict, it is a really difficult time to be in close contact with family. And also it's a really difficult time for my sobriety. I just decided to make a video. Hopefully you guys can relate to this. So how are we going to stay sober in December? Obviously, we get our sobriety from God. Anybody who's an alcoholic, and I hope that you understand this. I am an alcoholic. That means I have no willpower when it comes to alcohol. I do not care what people say, like, oh, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, but I have the willpower, or I'm a functioning alcoholic, so I decide when. Whatever definitions of alcoholism is out there. I am a powerless alcoholic, okay? I drank against my will for 10 years, okay? So I understand what it means to drink against your will. I went to bars. I lied to my family members and everyone in my life. And I found myself in places with people doing things that I never thought possible, all because I was drinking against my will. Do I take accountability for my actions? Of course I do. Do I take accountability for my behaviors? Of course I do. And that is what living sober has taught me. But for many years, I drank against my will over and over every single day. I woke up with the thirst, the tenacity to get alcohol like never before, okay? And I could not function without alcohol. I had withdrawals if I did not drink, so I was either constantly drunk or constantly sick. So let's get that straight. I was really just dependent on alcohol. And for me, alcohol is an allergy. I'm allergic to alcohol because I cannot safely consume alcohol like normal people. I'd have people in my life, or, people from the outside who don't understand alcoholism. Nor is it their business to understand alcoholism. People who have never been afflicted or understand this disease would come to me and be like, but you can drink like a normal person. Why don't you just drink like a lady? Why don't you just stop at 1 or 2 drinks? That is not possible for a person like me. Because once I start with even a sip of alcohol, a taste of alcohol, once I ingest alcohol in any form, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in chocolate, whether it's in fruitcake. And guys, really be careful about fruitcake because, Christmas has whiskey. So please be careful about those fruitcakes and Christmas parties. When you go into Christmas parties and they have the communal fruit punches, please be mindful. Do not consume that stuff because it might have alcohol in it. I used to be like, okay, well, yeah, probably I can just get away with having a dessert that has alcohol. And then you relapse and you wonder, why? Why did I relapse? I didn't even have a drink. Yeah, but my pasta had wine sauce, okay? I can't have wine sauce. I can't have mincemeat red wine sauce in my pasta because it has alcohol in it. I don't care if it's to rendition or render the meat or whatever it is, or to bring out the flavor. Also be careful of French cuisine, because French Italian cuisine has a lot of alcohol made with the food. Going out to restaurants, you can't just assume that the waiter or the chef will tell you the ingredients. If you're ordering, here in Kenya, we call it a dawa. So it's basically a ginger tea. If you're ordering a ginger tea that has lemon, sometimes if you're in the coast, they will put in whiskey, or not even in the coast if you're in Mombasa, but if you're in Nairobi, sometimes restaurants will put in a shot of whiskey or something, or alcohol in it. Be mindful of that. Don't go tasting people's drinks. Don't go tasting people's food. I used to do that as well when I newly got sober, going around and, oh my gosh, can you taste this? There's something funny about my drink. And I never used to think about it. Only realizing, oh my gosh, I feel really weird. Did I just take alcohol? So I'm one of those people where it doesn't matter if I consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, whatever you want to call it, take alcohol. It opens an allergic reaction inside of me that automatically wants more alcohol. And it goes beyond my psychology, it goes beyond my physiology, it goes beyond my willpower. Like a normal person would say, no, when I take alcohol, I ruin my life, so I will stop drinking. That is not the case for me. When I take alcohol, it ruins my life and I want more and more and more and more. And without the intervention of God and His power to remove the obsession to drink from me, the mental obsession to drink, and the constant craving of alcohol, the thirst that I always have for drinking, if He doesn't remove that from me, which thank God He did, then I am completely just powerless to alcohol. So in December, we have all these Christmas parties and all these family get-togethers, and there's a lot of alcohol being dished out. I'm fortunate enough to have a family. My immediate family doesn't drink. I don't have too many cases where I will have to go with my immediate family and be worried about alcohol being present. However, obviously you can't control extended family and going to restaurants and places like that, because obviously alcohol will be served. So what happens, and what I normally do, you can normally tell when alcohol is about to be served. The mood normally changes. It's just after lunch. It's just after everyone has eaten. It's about 4 or 5 p.m. People are, taking off their shoes and kicking back, and it's time for tea. And out with tea comes the Baileys, the wine, the champagne, Jameson, and the whiskeys for the men. That's when I take my cue, I order my Uber, and I am out of there so quickly. Because as much as I have been delivered from the obsession, the mental obsession of alcohol, and as much as the cravings of alcohol has been taken from me, from God, I will not play with alcohol. I know myself. I know my relationship with alcohol. I never want to test the waters with alcohol. So for me, at 5 years and 5 months sober, especially around Christmas time, because that's when I'm most vulnerable, and New Year's, it's just something that I'm not willing to play around with. So if family members want to go ahead and drink, I'm not going to spoil their fun. Because at the end of the day, those are people that can drink like normal human beings, and that is fine. They don't have the disease of alcoholism. I do, and I have to protect my sobriety at all costs. So what I normally do is after eating, after dessert, I'll probably help out in the kitchen, do some service in the kitchen, call an Uber, and get out of there. If my parents are there, because my parents don't drink as well, we all look at each other and we're like, yeah, it's time to go. If I'm really uncomfortable, and let's say I'm not in a good place spiritually where I am really not able to handle alcohol being served and the smell of alcohol is really getting to me, then I will actually go and tell my mom, I need to leave now. And my mom is gracious enough to always be like, oh yes, okay, we can go. So thank you, mom, for that. And my mom will always leave the party early so that we can just leave. If you don't have a family that's supportive, if you don't have a family that looks out for you and, still goes ahead and drinks, if you have a family that keeps alcohol in the house, not only keeps alcohol in the house, but drinks daily. I know a lot of alcoholics come from families that drink. It's just up to you, I think, to know when to leave. Because at the end of the day, we can't change people. We can't change people. We can't control people. We can't tell them what to do. But we can control ourselves and we can change ourselves. If you are in an environment and you know you're the only one that's not drinking, you are the only one that has the disease of alcoholism, and you know very well what it means for you to pick up a drink. You know that you're the only person in this group of people who will spend the next 2 years trying to get your life back together if you pick up a drink that night at that party. Everyone else will be able to wake up the next morning and go to work, but you will be there fiending and craving and manipulating and lying and rearranging your whole life for a drink for the next 2 years just because you picked up a drink at that party. And everybody else would have moved on with their lives. If you know what I know about alcohol and what alcohol can do to you and what alcohol does to me, then just do yourself a favor and leave. There is no shame and there is nothing wrong in saying, I am completely powerless over alcohol and my life is unmanageable. When it comes to me and alcohol, I am powerless over it. This thing put me on my knees, and I have the utmost respect for alcohol, the utmost respect for it. I never ever want to go back to where I was a few years ago. I never want to go back to where I was 5 years and 5 months ago. So if you have even just one day sober, that is 24 hours that somebody else out there in the world right now is struggling to have. Be proud of yourself. Recognize that God is doing for you what you cannot do for yourself. Recognize that you are beyond human aid, that this alcohol problem is beyond human aid. No love of parents, no love of family, no love of money, no love of career, no love of even self-love will get you out of alcoholism. Recognize that God is the only one that can get you sober, and recognize that it's okay to not be ashamed of how far down alcohol brought you. And it's okay to walk away. It's okay. It's okay to leave the party early. It's really okay. It's okay to not even go to the party to begin with. It's okay. When it comes to New Year's, I don't spend New Year's out anymore. I don't go to New Year's Eve parties because all that happens is drinking, clubbing, and you jump the year in the same fashion and manner every single year. Everybody with a bottle of champagne, Patron, whatever drink that you like in a club, under the stars, fireworks. You make out with somebody, you do the countdown, and then it's the next year. That to me isn't interesting anymore. It's not productive. It's not fun. What I enjoy doing is being at home on New Year's Eve, being in my bed and reflecting on my life, reflecting on how far I've come, reflecting on the fact that I don't have to be there causing chaos in a club, looking for a drink, begging for a drink, fueling my addiction, pretending like I'm having fun, and then just being miserable the next year, trying to figure out my life all over again. How I spend New Year's this year and how I spend it now in my sobriety is by just staying indoors, relaxing, and doing everything that I've been doing for the past 364 days, which is staying indoors, going to a meeting, and doing the things I do on a day-to-day basis. Nothing has to change. It doesn't have to be this big event, you know. You don't have to feel pressured to go to the newest party or go here or go there. How many years were we out there in the streets causing chaos, going out over and over again? You don't have to be everywhere. You can decide what you want to do. If it's a quiet dinner at home with your loved ones, then do that. But do whatever is comfortable to you. If you want to go on holiday, then do that. If you want to go to the club, then do that. But honestly, think to yourself, is this productive to my sobriety? Am I protecting my sobriety by being here? Am I protecting my sobriety by being here? Because it's during New Year's Eve, it's during New Year's, it's during Christmas time that our guard comes down and we feel like celebrating, and we can get lost in the sauce. We can get lost in feeling like we want to over celebrate. And in that spirit of celebration and that spirit of festivity, somebody may come to us with a glass of champagne and say, "Oh, come on, but you've been sober for 6 months. Oh, come on, but you've been doing so well. You've been sober for 2 weeks. Oh, come on, but you've been sober for like 5 years. Surely one drink won't hurt." And in that moment, you can make a split decision that will change your life forever. So I urge you, when you're going out to restaurants and you're eating and you're going out with family, just be mindful of what you're eating. If you're ordering a pasta dish, ask them, "What's in the white sauce? Are you making this with white wine? Are you making this with red wine?" If you're ordering dessert, "What's in the tiramisu? Tiramisu has alcohol." If you're ordering Christmas cake or fruit cake, most fruit cakes have whiskey and brandy. Ask them what's in it. And also in December, I know in Kenya we go to a lot of weddings. A lot of wedding cakes have alcohol. So ask them, what was in the wedding cake? What is the ingredients of this cake? At the Christmas parties, at the office parties for your companies, ask them what's in the fruit punch. Is it alcoholic? And eggnog. That's alcoholic drink right there. So just be mindful, completely be on your guard, because all these festivities come with so many potholes and loopholes that can really trip us out. Stay close to the program, the 12-step program. If you're not in a 12-step program, I urge you to just get online, type in, "I am an alcoholic and I need help." You will find a 12-step program that will help you. Get onto those meetings, their physical meetings and their online meetings, and just look for help. Get into those meetings. I know during Christmas, I probably do meetings more than usual. Normally, I do a meeting a day. But during the holiday season and during December, I normally will do more meetings, especially on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve really, really messes with me. And also try not so much to isolate. I know we can get depressed because we may not be with our family because of our addiction. We may have burnt bridges, or family members may have passed away when we were out there in our addictive lifestyle, and now we've gotten sober and our family members are gone. Try not to beat yourself up too much. Stick close to the program. If you go to church, stick close to church. And please listen a lot to speaker tapes. I will link some below. And I wish you all a festive, and definitely a sober December. Happy holidays, everyone. Till the next video. Cheers.